Hey YouTube, me again. Today I'll be on my Gewehr 98, which is a very long boy. First, no rounds in there. Drop the firing pin. This was Germany's standard service rifle until the 1930s when they switched over to the Kar 98. Mechanically, it's the same rifle, just the Kar 98 has got a shorter barrel, different sights, turn down bolt, so on and so forth. This particular example, I don't know if it'll show up in the video. Nah, probably won't. Is made by the Amberg Arsenal, which is one of Germany's state arsenals they had in World War I. This particular one was made in 1918. And it's all matching as far as I can tell, which coincidentally, the last two of the serial number is 98, which is kind of funny. Unfortunately, I think someone sanded this rifle because the stocks are very dry, and some of the markings you can't see too well anymore, like there's some cartouches in the buttstock. It probably won't show up on camera, but they're not as deep as they should be. And I'm pretty certain this is a souvenir rifle, as I have not been able to find an import mark on it. So someone probably brought this home with them. Which I can tell they probably did, because this rifle's, from the appearance, looks like it lived a very hard life. I don't know if it'll show up on the camera, but the buttstock has got a lot of pitting on the butt plate. And there's quite a bit on the muzzle. So has a clean rod, though. Usually those end up getting thrown away, but this one still has it. Don't have a sling or bayonet, unfortunately. And how it works is to cock on open. Style rifle. There's the safety. Middle position, you can still work the bolt, but rifle and fire. All the way to the right. Locks the action and disables the trigger. Which the trigger itself has some creep. It's the wall. And does a tiny little bit more creep after the wall, and then it goes off. I'll show you again. In case you're wondering what this little stock disc is for, it's innate in disassembling the bolt, which I'll take out and show you. I'm not going to disassemble it though, because it's kind of a pain in the ass. This is the 98 bolt, it's a 2-lug bolt, a large extractor. But to disassemble the bolt, you would use a disc right there to help take the firing pin, like relieve pressure on it when you're taking it out. And they put that in there as a way to prevent soldiers from trying other methods of disassembling their bolts and breaking their firing pins, rendering their rifles useless. Until an armorer gets them a new firing pin after probably getting yelled at by their NCO and all kinds of fun times. This is one of the more distinctive features of the Gewehr 98 model. It's got this thing they call a roller coaster sight, which its lowest possible setting is 400 meters and can be adjusted all the way out to 2,000 meters. That's for volley fire, where you have a group of guys all massed together and firing into enemy formations really far away, because that's how they envisioned battles would be because of the new smokeless powder cartridges. Which in this case, this one's an 8mm. Which is not the most pleasant of cartridges to shoot. Also, I think someone ground off the follower for the magazine. Because from what I recall, these are supposed to be, you can't push the bolt closed when it's empty. Like, so when soldiers are shooting, they won't be sitting there just chambering empty rounds they think are there into the rifle. So they'd be like, hey, you're empty, put more rounds in. Get you a look at the other side as I hit the ceiling fan. I'm not sure it'll show up, but it'll say Gewehr 98 in like a Gothic script right there. But it's probably not going to show up on video. But yeah, it's a very, very long rifle. Say it's about the same length as the M96 Swedish Mauser. At least it feels that way. Though I'm more familiar with the Swedish Mauser, because that was the Mauser when I was introduced to Mausers, that was my introduction to Mauser rifles when I was a kid. Because my dad had, at the time, and still has, a M96 Swedish Mauser. I will say that Swedish Mauser has better sights than these, though. At least that one you can actually shoot at targets relatively easily under shorter distances. This one you kind of have to aim a little low. Like, I think the silhouette target I was shooting at was maybe 50 yards or so, 50 yards, 50 meters away. And I had to aim all the way at, like, it's a silhouette target, so I aimed at, like, his stomach area, and I was hitting him in the head. That's how low I had to aim with this. I mean, it seemed fairly accurate, though. If it is a little bit of a beat-up rifle. But still, it's another piece of history. Anyways, have a nice day.